The arrival on Sector 9X. The planet below was glowing. Strange lights moved through the jungle like fireflies dancing in slow motion. Mist covered the trees, and blue rivers shimmered like glass. In the sky above, a small ship broke through the clouds and headed straight down. Inside the ship sat a human named Eli Vance, explorer, engineer, and survivor. He wasn't supposed to be here. Sector 9X was a forbidden zone. Most maps had it marked with a red warning. Danger, unstable, no contact. Even the Galactic Council had no stations here. But Eli wasn't here for politics. He was chasing a signal. 3 days ago, a deep space scanner caught something. Strange, an old alien transmission. Not random, not natural, it was intelligent. And it came from this planet. Eli took the risk. His ship landed hard, skidding on soft moss. Sparks flew from the engine, but he made it. When the door opened, warm air rushed in, heavy with perfume-like scents and faint electricity. Eli stepped out, wearing light armor and carrying a scanning device. His boots sank into the glowing soil. The jungle whispered around him. No birds, no wind, just watching. He walked carefully through thick plants and strange flowers that moved when touched. Vines curled like snakes, and some leaves had tiny glowing eyes that blinked before vanishing. He stopped when his scanner beeped. "Signal's close," he whispered. Then, a sound. A soft laugh. Eli froze. A female voice echoed from behind the trees. "You came here for what? Treasure? Glory?" He turned fast. "Who's there?" From the shadows stepped a figure. A woman, tall, cloaked in dark robes. Her face was hidden, but her voice was smooth, calm, and not fully human. Eli raised his hands. "I'm not here to fight, I followed a signal." "You followed a trap," she said, "and you walked in willingly." "I didn't know," he said carefully. "I thought someone needed help." She tilted her head. "Do you help strangers?" "Yes, if they need it." A pause. Then she asked, "Even if they are not human?" "Yes." She walked slowly around him, not touching, just observing. "You're brave. Or foolish." "Both, maybe," Eli said. She stopped in front of him. "You stand on sacred ground. My people do not allow outsiders. Why should I let you live?" Eli didn't flinch. "Because I mean no harm." "Words are easy," she replied. "Prove it." Before he could answer, she raised one hand. Suddenly, the forest shifted. The trees moved, forming a path. Bright lights danced around him, like 1,000 tiny stars. His scanner went dark. No signal. No readings. Eli turned slowly. "What is this?" "A test," she said. "You wish to stay, you must earn the right." Eli looked around. The plants whispered his name. The ground changed beneath his feet. He was being watched, not by animals, but by the planet itself. "You are not the first human to come here," the woman said. "Most ran, others attacked, some begged." Eli asked, "What happened to them?" She replied simply, "They failed." He looked into the shadow under her hood. "And if I fail, you will vanish, like all the rest." Eli nodded slowly. "Then I better not fail." A pause. Then she stepped closer. Her voice was softer now. "You are strange, Eli Vance. You do not run. You do not beg. You ask questions, but you also listen." "I try," he said. "Sometimes listening saves lives." She turned away and began walking into the trees. He followed without hesitation. For the next hour, she led him through glowing caves, over floating rocks, and past strange beasts that growled, but didn't attack. All the while she spoke, not about herself, but about Eli. She knew his name, his past, his mistakes. "You once left a man behind on Mars," she said. Eli looked down. He was already gone. If I had stayed, 2 would have died. "And yet, you still regret it." Yes. She nodded as if that answer pleased her. They finally reached a tall stone archway covered in glowing runes. She stopped. This is the edge of the first test. Beyond it, the trial begins. Eli frowned. What trial? She stepped close. For the first time, he saw her eyes, silver, glowing, full of stars. Not human, not even close. She smiled. You've passed? The first part, she said. You came with peace. You showed patience. You asked and you listened. Eli took a breath. So, who are you? She raised her hand. You'll learn if you survive the rest. Then she vanished. Gone like smoke in the wind. Eli stood alone before the archway. His scanner beeped once, then shut off again. He looked up at the stars above. A whisper echoed in the trees. Your journey begins now. The voice in the mist. Eli woke up gasping for breath. His body was damp with sweat. But it wasn't fear that shocked him. It was the glowing alien symbols now burned into his skin. Eli didn't remember falling asleep, but he woke up on soft moss, deep inside the glowing jungle. His head was spinning. His heart was racing. Strange whispers echoed in his ears. Then he saw it, his arm. A glowing symbol pulsed just under his skin. It looked like a spiral made of light slowly shifting. He touched it. It didn't hurt. But it wasn't natural. What is this? He whispered. The symbol on his arm blinked once, and then the woman's voice returned. It's a mark of passage human. You are inside the second test. Eli looked around. Where are you? Her voice came from nowhere and everywhere. Close your eyes. Listen. The test is not outside you. It's inside. Eli didn't fully understand, but something told him this wasn't a place he could walk out of. He had to face whatever came next. He sat down, took a deep breath, and closed his eyes. The jungle went silent. Darkness. Then, memories. He saw his old crew on Mars, laughing after a long mission. He saw the friend he had left behind during an explosion, the guilt burning his chest. Another memory, his father yelling at him as a boy, "You'll never survive out there." Then his own voice whispering in fear, "I'm not enough. I'll fail." Suddenly he heard her voice again, cutting through the darkness. "All your life you have run from pain. Can you face it now?" "I try," Eli said aloud. "But it hurts." "Good. That means it's real." The ground shook. Eli opened his eyes. He wasn't in the jungle anymore. He stood in a black room with mirrors on all sides. In each mirror, a different version of himself stared back. Some angry, some sad. One was screaming. Another was crying. A mirror cracked. Another version of Eli stepped out, cold, strong, wearing battle armor. His eyes were filled with hate. "You're weak," the mirror version said. "You trust too easily. That alien woman will kill you like the others." "I don't believe that," Eli replied. "Then you're a fool," the reflection growled. "You should have never come to this planet." Eli shook his head. "I came because I had to know." "Know what?" the version snapped. "That aliens are better than us? That you don't belong anywhere?" "No," Eli said. "That there's still something worth saving." The reflection stepped forward, ready to strike. But Eli didn't move. "I'm not afraid of you," he said. "You're just fear. And I'm done letting fear lead me." The reflection froze, then shattered into 1,000 pieces. The black room melted into mist. Eli dropped to his knees, gasping. The woman's voice came again, softer this time. "You faced the second gate. You did not run. You did not lie. That is enough. For now." He looked at his arms. A second symbol now glowed beside the first, different shape like a flame. He stood up slowly, shaking but alive. Then the mist around him began to part. The jungle returned. The air was warm again. The sky above now held 2 moons slowly rising. Eli heard her footsteps behind him. She walked slowly into view, still cloaked, still mysterious. "You have pain," she said, "but you do not hide from it. That is rare." Eli met her gaze. "These tests, what are they really for?" She paused, then said softly, "We have been watching humans for years. Many came here. All failed. Too proud, too angry, too loud. And me?" Eli asked. "You are still walking," she replied. "That already makes you different." He nodded. "What's next?" She raised her hand and pointed beyond the trees. "To earn the third mark," she said, "you must enter the hunting grounds." Eli frowned. "Am I being hunted?" "No," she said with a strange smile. "You must decide whether to be the hunter or the protector." Before he could ask more, she faded back into the shadows. Eli stared into the trees. He could hear strange sounds now, heavy breathing, movement, growling in the distance. Another test, and it had already begun. The hunt Eli ran through the jungle, branches cutting his skin. Behind him, something growled, a heavy, deep sound. It wasn't just chasing him, it was testing him, just like she was. The jungle was no longer quiet. Eli moved through thick vines and twisted trees, breathing hard. The air felt heavier, thicker, like it didn't want him here. He wasn't sure how long he'd been walking, but his legs were sore and his arms were scratched. The sound of growls followed him, not close but not far either. He paused, pulled out his scanner, still broken. The glowing marks on his skin were the only things working. Suddenly the ground shook. A shadow passed through the trees. Big, powerful. Eli dropped and hid behind a thick root. He heard footsteps, slow, heavy, deliberate. A beast stepped into view. It looked like a giant wolf mixed with a lizard, 6 legs, armor-like skin, glowing red eyes. Its fangs were sharp and it sniffed the air like it already knew where Eli was. He didn't move. The beast growled and turned its head. Then, it walked away. Eli waited a few more minutes before standing up. He was being watched again. Not just by the beast, but by her. The alien woman who had tested him before. He couldn't see her, but he knew she was out there, somewhere in the trees. And this test wasn't about survival only. It was about choice. For the next hour, Eli followed the beast from a distance. He studied its movement. It didn't attack unless cornered. It only hunted small prey, quick, clean kills. Then he saw something strange. Another beast was trapped under a rock slide, smaller, maybe a cub. It cried out in pain, one leg pinned. The larger beast came close, trying to free it. Eli froze. This was the moment. He could shoot them both, use their distraction to win, to pass, or... He stepped out slowly. The big beast growled. Eli raised both hands. "I'm not here to hurt you." The beast bared its teeth. Eli moved slowly toward the fallen rocks. The baby beast cried again. The adult looked between Eli and the cub. It didn't attack, but didn't back away either. "I'm helping," Eli whispered. He pushed the heavy rocks one by one, using a metal rod as leverage. His arms shook. His back hurt. But he kept going. Finally, the last stone rolled off. The cub limped free. Eli stepped back. The adult beast sniffed the cub, then looked at Eli. They stared at each other. No growling now. The two creatures turned and slowly disappeared into the trees. Eli collapsed to the ground. Breathing hard, a voice echoed in the wind. "You chose mercy, even when it was dangerous." Eli sat up. The woman stepped out from the trees, this time closer. Her cloak shimmered. Her eyes glowed. "I thought you wanted me to kill it," Eli said. "I wanted to see what kind of man you are," she replied. He looked at her. "And what do you think now?" She came closer. "You value life, even alien life. That is rare." Eli looked down at his arm. A third mark appeared, this one shaped like a claw. "3 tests," he said. "What do they mean?" She was quiet for a moment. Then she spoke softly. They are not for us. They are for you. I don't understand, he said. You will, she whispered. Then she turned and pointed deeper into the jungle. There is a place where our young live, a village hidden from the stars. If you are truly worthy, you will find it. Eli stood up. Will they test me too? She looked back at him. No. They will simply watch. And just like that, she vanished again. Eli stared into the trees. He didn't feel like a hero. He felt tired, sore, unsure. But he kept walking. Because something deep inside told him this wasn't just a mission, it was a calling. The alien refuge. Eli stepped through the glowing vines and stopped. Before him stood a village he never expected. Homes shaped like shells, children with shining eyes, and one face among them that made his heart stop. She was here, and she was smiling. Eli pushed through the thick branches. The jungle opened, up suddenly like someone had parted a curtain, and what he saw stunned him. In the middle of the forest, hidden under a natural canopy of glowing trees, was a village. Strange homes, shaped like shells and stones, stood quietly in a circle. Soft lights floated above rooftops like lanterns with wings. A small river ran through the middle, clear and glowing faint blue. But that wasn't what shocked him. It was the people. Small alien children ran and played near the stream. They laughed in a strange but musical language. Some climbed trees. Others splashed in the water. They weren't afraid of him. In fact, a few stopped and looked at him with wide, curious eyes. One stepped forward. A little girl with silver markings on her face and long white hair. She didn't speak. She simply smiled and offered him a glowing fruit. Eli knelt down and gently took it. Thank you. She giggled and ran back to her friends. Then, from a nearby home, she stepped out. The cloaked woman. Same glowing eyes, same calm presence. But this time, she wore no hood. Her face was soft but strong. Her skin shimmered faintly, like moonlight on water. She looked young and ancient at the same time. Eli froze. You live here? She walked toward him. These are my people. The ones I protect, the ones I test others for. He looked around. I thought this planet was a trap, a danger zone. She nodded. That's what we wanted the galaxy to think. Why? He asked. She looked serious. Because outsiders bring war, greed, noise. But once in a while, one comes with peace in his heart. Eli looked at the children again. You hid them. We protected them, she said. My people are not fighters anymore. They are healers, growers, dreamers. But long ago, we were warriors. Eli pointed to his arm. Then why the tests? She gently touched his marks. We needed someone strong enough to protect, but kind enough to care. He looked at her. You were testing me. For them? Yes, she said. And for me. He blinked. You? She stepped closer. Our ways are old. We believe in the bonding. When a soul matches another, across any species, across time, then a connection forms, rare, powerful. Eli swallowed. Are you saying me? You passed the tests, she said. Not just of strength, of heart, of truth. He felt his chest tighten. Not fear. Something else. She turned and walked into the center of the village. Come. Help us. He followed her. The next hours passed gently. Eli helped carry water to the elders. He repaired a broken solar panel that powered part of the village. He taught a group of young aliens how to make a simple radio using scrap parts. He laughed with them. He listened to them. He felt like he belonged. That night, under 2 moons, the villagers lit glowing fires and danced. Their songs were soft and filled with memories. Eli sat beside her. Do you have a name? He asked. She smiled. My people call me Kalyra. It's beautiful, he said. She looked at him. Your final test is near. Eli turned. What else do I need to do? Kalyra stood. Nothing. She looked up at the stars. Tomorrow I will show you who I really am. If you accept it, you may stay. Eli nodded slowly. And if I don't? She looked into his eyes. Then you may leave. No harm, no anger. Just goodbye. Eli didn't speak. He didn't know what tomorrow would bring. But for the first time in a long time, he didn't feel alone. The trial of truth. If you lie, it will kill you, Kalyra said calmly. Eli stood before a glowing crystal, pulsing with soft light. It doesn't care about your words. It listens to your soul. The next morning, the village was quiet. Even the children who usually played loudly, whispered and walked softly. It was as if everyone knew something important was about to happen. Eli stood outside the village gates, fully awake but unsure. Kalyra appeared from behind a tall tree, dressed in ceremonial robes. She carried a staff made of crystal and stone. Her face was calm, but her eyes were sharp. Are you ready? She asked. I think so, Eli replied. She gave him a small nod. Follow me. Speak only truth, no matter how hard it is. They walked in silence through a hidden path behind the hills. The ground changed, softer, warmer. Lights flickered in the dirt as they walked. Birds flew silently above them, watching. Soon, they reached a wide cave entrance covered in thick vines. Kalyra touched one vine, and it moved aside like it recognized her. Inside the cave, everything glowed. The walls shimmered with light, and a humming sound filled the air, soft like a heartbeat. At the center of the chamber stood a massive crystal. It was taller than Eli, floating slightly above the ground. Light pulsed inside it like something alive. Eli stepped closer. What is it? Kalyra placed her hand on the crystal's surface. It's called the Heart Stone. It's ancient. It listens, remembers, and reflects what's inside a being. Eli looked at her. So this is the real test? She nodded. Yes. If you are false, the crystal will reject you. What happens if it rejects me? She said nothing. Eli swallowed. Kalyra gestured toward the crystal. Place your hands on it, close your eyes, speak your truth. Eli slowly stepped forward. He raised his hands, placed them on the glowing surface. It was warm, alive. He closed his eyes, and everything changed. Darkness surrounded him. Then, images. He saw his life again, not just memories, but feelings. He saw his mother's face, tired and kind. He saw his father shouting, "You're a failure." He felt the fear of leaving Earth for the first time. He saw the face of his teammate Connor, the man he left behind on Mars. "I'm sorry," Eli whispered. "I tried to save you. I wasn't strong enough." The image changed. He saw himself, running from conflict, hiding when things got hard. "I was afraid," he said softly. "Afraid I wasn't good enough, that I'd never belong anywhere." Then, he saw Kalyra's face. She was smiling at him, believing in him. "I don't know if I deserve her trust," he said. "But I want to." A light grew brighter inside. The darkness, the crystal pulsed. Then, the darkness vanished. Eli opened his eyes. The cave glowed brighter now. The crystal was calm, glowing blue, the color of balance and peace. Kalyra smiled. "You spoke your truth." Eli stepped back. "I didn't know how much I was holding inside." She walked closer. "You opened your soul, the Heartstone saw it, and accepted it." He looked at her. "So, what now?" She gently touched the crystal with her staff. It began to change shape, becoming smaller, sharper. Then it floated to Eli's chest. Before he could move, it touched his skin. A soft warmth spread through him. The fourth symbol glowed on his body, a circle with two halves, like balance. Kalira looked into his eyes. "You're ready." "Ready for what?" Eli asked. "For the truth," she whispered. "And for me." They walked back to the village in silence. That night, Kalira came to him under the stars. She didn't wear her cloak. She didn't hide her face. She simply stood before him, full of light and strength. "You've passed the final trial," she said. Eli looked at her, unsure, but there was no fight, no danger. She shook her head gently. "The greatest danger is inside the heart. And you faced it." She reached out her hand. "Tomorrow," she said, "I will show you who I truly am." Eli took her hand. "Then, I'll be here," she smiled. "You've come far, human. You've earned what many others never could." And as the stars above shifted, Eli felt something new, something he had never felt before. Peace. Her true form. The sky above was silent. 2 moons glowed over the alien forest. Eli stood alone on a tall cliff, heart pounding. Behind him, soft footsteps. She whispered, "You've passed my test, human. Now witness my true form." The next night arrived with no sound, no wind, no birds. Only the slow rise of 2 full moons shining down on the alien jungle. Eli stood on a high cliff, looking over the glowing trees. From here he could see everything: the distant lights of the hidden village, the rivers that shimmered like silver, the mist rising from the hills. He had been waiting. Kalira had told him to meet her here, alone. He didn't know what to expect. His heart beat slowly, but hard. 4 glowing marks now ran across his arms and chest, each one a trial, a memory, a truth. Then he heard it. Footsteps, soft, graceful. She stepped into the moonlight. Kalira, no cloak, no staff, only herself. She walked forward, eyes glowing faintly. "You came," she said. "I told you I would," Eli replied. She looked at him carefully. "Most turn away before this moment. They say they're ready, but they're not." Eli took a breath. "I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm not afraid." A long silence. Then Kalira said softly, "Everything you've seen until now was only part of me." She stepped forward and held out her hand. "If I show you what I truly am, will you still stand beside me?" Eli didn't move. Then slowly, he placed his hand in hers. "I'm here," he said. Kalira's eyes brightened, and the world changed. The moons glowed brighter. The ground shimmered under their feet. Kalira closed her eyes and her body began to lift from the ground, slowly, gently. Light began to rise from her skin, first gold, then silver, then colors Eli couldn't even name. Her form grew larger, her hair flowing like liquid light. Her skin turned translucent. Inside her, stars blinked like a living galaxy. Her back opened and wings appeared, made of energy and dust, wide and endless, like they could cover the whole sky. Her voice echoed, not loud, but deeper, fuller, vibrating in the air. "This is me, Eli. This is who I truly am." Eli stared, breathless. He couldn't speak, not out of fear, but awe. She was beautiful, no longer just a woman, but something more, a being of power, of wisdom, of time itself. He whispered, "You're not just a guardian, are you?" Her wings folded slightly. "No. I am one of the last of my kind, a protector of what's left, a keeper of truth. My people used to shape stars, guide planets, but we faded, chose to hide, to protect, not to rule." Eli stepped closer, blinking in disbelief. "Then why the tests? Why me?" Her glowing eyes softened. "Because the galaxy is changing," she said. "We cannot stay hidden forever. We must choose allies, ones with heart, with strength, with balance." She floated back down slowly. Her shape began to return, smaller, gentler. but the light still pulsed in her eyes. She stood before him, just as she had before. Still Kalira, still herself. But now, everything was different. Eli stepped forward. "You trusted me with this," she nodded, "because you proved you could carry it." He smiled. Small, real. "I didn't do it to pass." "I know," she said. "That's why you did." They sat together on the edge of the cliff, watching the moons. She rested her head on his shoulder. The light from her skin faded slowly, like stars calming after a storm. "Does this mean the journey's over?" Eli asked. Kalira looked up at the sky. "No," she said. "It's only the beginning."